Good morning to all. I, Sarita Singh, Associate Professor, Institute of Pharmacy, Sri Ram Swaroop Memorial University, welcomes you in third day of FDP, entitled Innovative Research in Pharmaceutical Sciences. Today, our eminent speaker of the session is Ms. Juhi Mishra Ma'am, who is currently employed as IPD Analytics, Florida, USA, as a senior researcher, biosimilar and competitive intelligence, market and financial insights, and handling CI biosimilars team. Ma'am has done her B.Pharm from Vanasthali University, Jaipur, and M.Pharm Pharmacology from AIPR, Lucknow. She has over 10 years of professional experience in clinical research and competitive intelligence. She is a market research professional with expertise in competitive intelligence, biosimilars, clinical trial, landscaping, primary research, secondary research, clinical research, medical writing, report writing, and forecasting. Welcome, ma'am, to the today's FDP session. Ma'am.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So very good afternoon to one and all present here. And firstly, I would like to thanks the complete group of the complete team member of this university for giving me this opportunity to do some brainstorming session. I would call it not a session exactly, because the topic that I've chosen is not actually possible to summarize in a 1 hour session or 45-minute session. Yeah, but I decided to choose this topic because it's been a long association with this particular domain since around past 10 years. And I find that there has not been a lot of awareness about this particular when it comes to opting CI as a career for the students. So I think you all, being the faculty members, being the teachers, being their life makers, I think you all can guide the students in a very good coordinated way. And although I would say that at last it's the decision of the students for which particular area they have the developed interest and they want to go to, but yeah, the knowledge sharing should always go on. So firstly, I would like to just share the screen with you all so that I can start with my presentation. It looks host has disabled screen sharing for me. So,
ma'am, it's been open. Please check.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it visible now? I'll take it on this view. Okay. So, is it visible? My screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just start. So what basically is competitive intelligence? Let's just make it an interactive one. Any faculty member who would just like to add anything on what do you feel like competitive intelligence is or what is done? Just to make it a bit interactive, any idea? Anybody would like to speak anything about that? Okay, no problem. So I would not take a lot of time. So basically, when it comes to competitive intelligence is basically, we know that the pharmaceutical industry is constantly evolving. Like when we see what pharmaceutical industries were 10 years back, 20 years back, and what we see the current scenario is things have evolved a lot. It's an ever-evolving process. So the industries are continuously evolving day by day. So moreover, there is also a fierce competition among the different pharmaceutical companies for a particular therapy area, for a particular product. So the competition goes on. And if a particular pharmaceutical company is not very much well, I would say abreast of all the recent changes that is going on for a particular product in a particular therapy area, then it becomes very much difficult to make sure that the product that we are developing, the strategies that we are taking, they are finally going to generate a lot of revenue for a particular market. So once the product is developed, then the companies need to we just basically need to foresee what actually how the product is going to evolve in a particular market, and how much revenue can we generate, how much market share our particular product is going to generate in a particular market, in a particular therapy area. So basically, when we think of the pharmaceutical companies, I would say the pharma giants that we have, like we have Novartis, we have Roche, we have Biogen, we have Eli Lilly. These all have a good presence in India also. So when we think of these big companies already do have a particular dedicated team of competitive intelligence who actually let them know about all the go-to-market strategies, that whether a company should because it doesn't make a sense that we are working in a particular for a particular product, we are investing crores, lakhs of money on that, and then ultimately we are not generating a lot of revenue. So it is always good to have a CI team who is there to help you in making all the decisions. So there is a fierce competition among organizations, and it is very much needed that the pipeline of all the companies remain very much strong. We know the patent, the scenario of the patents as well. So we know that there are innovative companies which go on doing new studies. They keep on adding the indications. Why they are doing so? Just to elongate, just to prolong the tenure of their product in the market, because till the time the patent is going to be there, we don't expect the generic product to be in the market. So keeping a close watch on the competition is actually in this dynamic marketplace is actually very much vital. Therefore, there comes the role of competitive intelligence. So I'll just move on the next slide. So what would be the agenda? The topics that I've tried to cover in this small session is, firstly, I'll go through the introduction, then the best practices in CI, then what the CI has to offer, the benefits, criticalities of CI, then the sources of insights collection, from where do we get all the information from, then we'll try to summarize everything, and finally there'll be a closing remark over this. So coming on to the introduction, pharmaceutical competitive intelligence is a view into the activities of other pharma and medtech companies in the same space. Same space means in the particular therapy areas. So it is not only with the drugs. This CI is actually very much relevant for the medtech companies as well, the devices companies as well. This vital market intelligence includes information on shifts in the market landscape, updates on competitor activity, and news on the commercialization of the new product. So every day there is a lot going on. There has been a lot of, when we track for example, when we keep on tracking US FDA, we keep on tracking the EMA, that is the European Medicines Agency. We see every day there is a lot of changes going on. So we need to be very much updated about that. Next is competitive intelligence and market analysis are two key tools that can help healthcare organizations gain insights into their market, competitors, customers, and inform strategic decision making. So CI is competitive intelligence and MA is market analysis. So I would say CI and MA, both of them go hand in hand. These are the two key tools that help healthcare organizations to gain the insights. Because being a CI professional, if I'm not very much updated about what currently is going in the market for a particular therapy area, if I'm not well updated about that, I cannot suggest the right information to my clients, to my subscribers. So that is very much needed, that CI and MA both go hand in hand. These are the two key tools by which we help all our customers, our subscribers, in making the in taking the good decisions, that is the strategic decision making. Next, it comes to best practices. So on best practices, we have 5 points listed: synergistic relationship with external knowledge partners, systematic data gathering, observe relevant clinical trials to support R&D processes, confer with KOLs. KOLs means the key opinion leaders, then leverage the technology to increase speed to insight. So when it comes to synergistic relationship with external knowledge partners, I'll just take 5 to 10 minutes in explaining this slide, because I think this is crucial to make everybody aware about what are the best practices of CI. So pharma companies often depend on the market and the competitive intelligence agencies to fill the information gaps in their research. Because every time, every company doesn't afford to have a dedicated CI, a team of CI people. So what they generally do, that they approach the consulting firms. There are various different consulting firms. For example, we have BCG, then we have Bain. Then there are many such companies, even myself, my company as well is a very good example of that. So what these big pharmaceutical giants do, that they take our subscription, because we act as a bridge and they fill this information gap, because they don't know what are the different ways of gathering the information. And ultimately, they don't have any particular people to whom they can approach, and they can get all the forecasting data that yes, if you do such modification in your product, then that product is going to generate a lot of revenue in the particular market. So these different consulting companies, they actually fill the information gap in their research. Doing so has its advantages. Firstly, what are the advantages? The external collaborators provide an unbiased outside-in perspective of the market. Because biasness is actually that happens, because if we have a team of dedicated CI members among the company itself, then definitely there could be some biasness that yes, our product is going to do very good. There could be some overconfidence or something like that. But when they hire a third company, then the research that they do, that is totally unbiased. Second, they have existing resources and expertise. They know what are the sources that they need to explore, what are the points they have to keep in mind before arriving at a particular conclusion. Second point is systemic data gathering. So when it comes to systemic data gathering, it's actually easy to find the data that you need. Because suppose I'll tell you that these are going to be the sources where you can find the data. But actually gathering data is not something that is going to help you all in arriving a particular conclusion. Because for that, it is very much needed that the data that we have, we need to process that data and convert it into actionable insights. Then only that is going to be fruitful for us. Next is observing relevant clinical trials to support the R&D processes. Clinical trials is actually very much, I would say, it's the pillar of CI, because that is the place. For example, for US, we have clinicaltrials.gov. That is a database where all the clinical trials that are registered with US FDA, with the United States, they are actually visible there. So we get a lot of information around there. Actually, these clinical trials play a vital role as they help us in determining the timelines for, like, suppose we know that currently a particular product is there, which is in phase 3, for example. And if we visit that website, we find that they mention the study completion date as well. So we know that by that particular time, that clinical trial, phase 3 study is going to be completed. So we can assume that once the clinical trial is done, once that is over, then the company within 1 or 2 months is going to do the filing with the US FDA. They're going to submit. So once submission is there, then US FDA takes a gap of, it needs a time of 2 months in which it is going to decide whether they are going to take this application forward or not. So that is the time taken by US FDA, 2 months. And then we assume 10 months more it takes for doing all the review procedure. So suppose if there has been a filing of a particular product in, say, for example, July of 23, then we can assume that by July of 24, that particular product is going to be approved by US FDA. And after that, depending upon their manufacturing capacity, there could be immediate launches as well in the market, or there could be a gap of time in which they are going to fasten their manufacturing processes, and then they are going to launch. That depends. So clinical trial is a very good source where we get a lot of knowledge about the timeline by when a particular product is going to be approved by a particular, we would say, particular regulatory body of a country. The next topic is confer with KOLs. KOLs actually play a very important role when it comes to doing CI, because, for example, in US, the products are generally distributed by the pharmacies. So these pharmacies are a very good source of information for us, like how the prescriptions are getting filled, how many prescriptions are there. That gives a very good idea to know which product is performing how in a particular market. So this is also very important that we take the information from the KOLs, from the pharmacies, from the physicians. The doctors also tell us a lot about how the products are performing for a particular, in a particular patient. So next point is leverage technology to increase speed to insight. So when it comes to technology, in earlier days, everything used to be manual. Like there used to be people who used to go on certain databases, search for the information, collect them. But these days, as you all would be aware, there is a lot going on around this artificial intelligence, that is AI. So AI, I would say, basically is a tool, which what it does, that we don't need manpower there. So what AI is actually artificial intelligence. It's a tool, totally software based, which will visit to a particular database and gather all the information from there. So that is also something that these days is very much, I would say that is very much getting popular these days. So companies have started using AI as well. Next comes what CI professionals offer. So being a CI professional, what all can we help our subscriber about? What all can we help the companies about? So first point, it is about the R&D strategies. When we talk of R&D, means it is a phase till when the product is under clinical trials, means when the product was undergoing those biochemical testings, the product was getting manufactured on a small scale, then the product was under clinical trial. I mean, till the product was in pipeline stage. So what R&D strategy should be there? Then the product pipeline. Next is launch timeline estimations that I explained right now when I was just explaining about the clinical trials. How do we estimate the timelines? Then there are the distribution and marketing channels as well, because always it's not like the product is directly available from the pharmaceutical companies. We have certain channels in between as well. Then promotional analysis, because promotions also play a very important role, how a particular company is promoting. So we devise them strategies for that also, how you should do the promotion. Drug device development, epidemiology research, like what type of disease state we find most in which geography. Like suppose if a particular type of cancer is very much prevalent in United States, then we'll develop the drug for that particular market and we'll generate more and more of revenue. Because if we are suppose working on any antiviral, but that particular disease is not very much prevalent in that geography, then of course that is not going to generate a lot of revenue. Then the clinical trial information I already explained. Drug device patents, we are very much known about. Patents play a very crucial role in determining when can we expect the generics to enter the market. Forecasting is something like using the past data, current data for a particular product. How do we decide how the product is going to perform 5 years later, 10 years later? So this is something that we try to foresee what is going to happen with a particular product, with a particular class of products in the coming years. Assessment of potential M&A opportunities. M&A means merger and acquisition. So these days it's very much prevalent that we don't even have any idea And early in the morning, we get up with news that this particular company was acquired by this company. This particular company merged with this company. So there is a lot around that also. So we act as a source of information for doing these assessments as well. Then the therapy area information means if many times we get the request that we want to develop a product for this particular therapy area. So can you just guide us? What all products can we start our development on? So that's all about the therapy area. Then the indication specific market level hypothesis generation. Next is the benefits or the criticalities of CI, of consulting. So there are two ways. If the CI insights that we give, if that is right, then that is very much helpful. And if that CI insights that we are giving, if that was wrong, then that gives a very much negative impact as well. So impact of getting it right, what will happen? We can anticipate the competitor moves. Anticipation means before only we can judge that how our competitor are going to do, what they're going to do, what would be their strategies in the coming time. So if there is a company who wants to know that how our competitors are going to, what strategies they are going to take, so that we can tell them before only that, yes, these all could be the strategies. So now you can start designing certain ways and you just change your strategy so that you can gain a good market share in a particular geography. Then how can we build barriers to the competition? How do you revise your business strategies? Now, if we give the wrong CI insights, then that would lead to underestimating the competition and failing to anticipate the disruption leading to poor sales performance. So what would happen that ultimately, if we give any, if we suggest anything wrong to the client, if our analysis went wrong, then of course the client is going to face a lot of negative impact because the sales of the particular product is going to be hampered very badly. Being myopic and failing to see the competitive threats. Myopia is a disease of the eye that is short-sightedness. So when we are doing CI, we always need to have that hypermetropia, not myopia. Means we need to always see the things till a long distance, large distance, and we need to just get that should come in our mind very earlier only, that what is going to be the scenario 10 years later, 5 years later. Because if we have only short-sightedness, then of course we won't be able to manage, we won't be able to see the competitive threats, and ultimately the product is going to fail. Nextly, we have sources of insights collection. I should have done this earlier. The screen was not visible, sorry. So what are the different sources of insights collection? So the different sources of insights collection, like being a CI person, if I'm asked to do a certain R&D around a particular product, around a particular therapy area, whatever information the client can ask me. So for that, these are the different sources that I visit. For example, the publications, the research articles, research papers that are available that we get through PubMed, then through these Google Scholar, Elsevier publications, different very good publications are there. So they are actually a very good source of information for us. Nextly, there are different trade shows, there are different conferences around, like ASCO is one of the major oncology conference, which we attend every year, and we get a lot of information around this. We have JP Morgan, etc. We have a lot of information around these trade shows and conferences that keep on happening time to time. Nextly, we have a lot of information from the investor relations as well. I mean, the filings that the company, the press releases that the companies publish, their different filings, like they have the filings with the Security Exchange Commission of United States, like the investor relations, different forms are there, like 10K, 8K, 10Q. So the companies write a lot about what they are going to do in the future, how their products, what are the actual phase of their products. So we get a lot of information. Social media is actually we get a lot of information there also. Then LinkedIn is a very good source of information. Then many times the customers themselves are actually a very good source of information. Then Google searches are there, different regulatory websites are there, which give us a lot of information. So these all are the sources of insights collection. So now coming on to the summary. So CI as a career is actually an amazing one to choose. So we do different things here, but we don't do different things here, but we do the things differently and smartly. That is the only difference here. It's not like we are doing anything which is a rocket science or that is very different. Yeah, but we need to be a bit smart and we need to do that thing in a different way. Here we help the pharma clients in all the major decision makings. The field offers very good professional growth. We get a sense of how the actual pharma sector works and all the market dynamics, what all is going on. So we are very much updated. Among the pharma students, this field was earlier not very much explored, but recently there has been a lot of interest around it. So I thought to share it with you people as well. All what is needed is to stay updated about the changes ongoing in the pharmaceutical sector. Next, coming on to this closing. So thanks to the entire team of Sri Ram Swaroop Memorial University for giving me such an amazing opportunity to do some knowledge sharing brainstorming session with the wonderful faculty members and making me a part of it. Hope you find this session useful. So I'm looking forward to an amazing association in the coming time as well. So now the floor is yours. So anything anybody would like to speak about or you would like to ask?
Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful session. If anyone has any question, you can ask.
Excuse me, can I ask one question?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Yeah.
I just have one, I would like to have one clarification. Like
Mhm.
you said that your clients ask you for the data and the information and the
Mhm.
market scenario. In
Mhm.
that case, you, you take data for the pharmacovigilance part also, or only the what to say, product cycle or the status of the product in the market?
Yeah, very nice question. So actually, when it comes to pharmacovigilance PVG, it is not actually a domain that we are currently handling on a pure basis. Yeah, but we have certain, we actually deal with this, the life cycle management, the LCM of the product. Yeah, but we have, we cannot restrict our queries that, yes, we won't answer you this question, that question. We answer them. We get certain question around the safety efficacy data, like how the product did once it was given to the patients. So we get a lot of queries like that also. So in that case, yeah, of course, we need to deal with that as well. But in that case, if that is US specific, then we prefer going to the physicians, talking to the doctors and getting to know how that particular drug was, how that behaved.
Yes. Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Please start.
Yeah, the time was less actually.
Yes.
And once I start speaking, time actually is less. So, Shraddha ma'am, should I repeat again? I think the question was from you.
No, ma'am, it's clear. Thank you so
It's
much.
clear. Oh, it's my pleasure.
Anyone else have any question?
Do we have Manju ma'am here? Is she here?
She is not here, ma'am. Wait a
Oh,
moment.
my
I will
bad.
ask her to come.
No problem. I'll talk to her separately.
Okay, then I extend my deep gratitude and thanks to the respected Suki Mishra ma'am for taking her valuable time from her highly busy schedule. Thanks for sharing deep information about competitive intelligence, which could be a great career option that give detailed information about R&D services, product pipelines, drug and device patent, therapy area information, market level hypothesis generation. This session is highly beneficial for everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful session.
Yeah, so thanks to the complete team of this university for giving me this opportunity. It was like a good experience for me as well, taking out time from a very different nature of work that I do. So it was a good interaction with you people. So hoping to have certain interactions in future as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.